and welcome back to Bookish Theories. Today we catch up with the Star Seekers We Tomorrow By Together because CloverWorks actually released a new animated short film dedicated to the series. They also did one for 7 Fates Chaco with BTS, which I'll talk about in another video that I'm already working on, but today we'll take a look at the Star Seekers. So, what's this about? This unexpected release is an animated retelling of the Star Seekers, which essentially provides an alternative version of the story that we never saw before. We have the same characters and the same premise, but the animation takes the story in a slightly different direction in comparison to the webtoon and the web novel. Today I'll break it down scene by scene and explain it all for you, but since it's been a minute since we last talked about it, let's freshen up our memory as we get reacquainted with the Boys of Destiny. This is also your spoiler warning, so proceed with caution from this moment on. Now, the Star Seekers is a fantasy storyline centering around Star One, which is an idol group without magic, trying to make it in a world where magic exists. Members include So, Subin's character, Eugene, Yeonjun's character, then Weekend, which is Bongyu, Tao, which is Taeyeon, and last but not least Avis, which is Yunin Kai. Despite their talent and hard work, our boys start off in no good in this story, because even if magic is a fairly new thing in this reality, it quickly became the new normal even in the entertainment industry. In this world, magic suddenly appeared after a cataclysmic event almost destroyed the planet 10 years prior. Some people gained powers because of this event, magic pocket dimensions started popping up here and there, and absolutely every aspect of life became intertwined with magic. With this power though also came the black water, which is a mysterious source of energy that destroys people's empathy, makes people sick, but is also incredibly sought after by the evil corporations of this magic world. After years and years without powers, and with one foot already out the door, Star One gains sudden popularity when their magic awakens in a very public show of force. They are not powerless people like they previously believed, they are the legendary Boys of Destiny, chosen ones so powerful their magic will bring forth a new era. The awakening of their magic makes them go from zero to hero. They become overnight sensations loved not only by the 3 loyal fans that they had before, but also by the many people discovering them for the very first time. Yet their sudden success also puts them on the radar of 2 enemy organizations with equally sketchy intentions. On the one hand we have the Dragon Slayer clan, a group of magical terrorists who wants them dead, but on the other we also have the Dragon Sect, a magical cult that offers them help but is also just as shady. To protect them from the Dragon Slayers and teach them to use their new magic, the Dragon Sect takes them to Dragon Peak, the headquarters of the cult, accessible through the magic island that opened up in Tucson Park. This is where the Boys of Destiny get ready to fulfill their fate, but they do so without even being told what this fate entails. As they train to unleash their true powers, Star One slowly uncover the dark secrets of the cult, the real reason why they want them on their side, and the difficult choice they have to make to save the world. Now, the animation kinda starts off in the middle of the action here, with everything that I just said having already taken place. This version of events begins with an attack. The Dragon Slayers have infiltrated Dragon Peak and are now having a violent confrontation with the Star Seekers. We see Eugene fighting them off with his sword, Tao using his spellbook, and on the rooftop Son notices that one of the attackers is nothing more than a kid. Avis in the meantime is running away from other Dragon Slayers and is so scared that he freezes. Bear in mind, Avis is a summoner of the Ornith tribe, so he can summon every winged creature he wants to aid him in battle, but in this instance he fails. Weekend comes through to save him, but in order to do so he must use a huge amount of power to summon a defender in his place. This triggers his causality, so even if the Dragon Slayers are eventually defeated, Weekend must suffer the consequences as thorn-like branches come out of his back. Mind you, in the Star Seekers magic comes with a price, and this applies for every version of the story, even in the videos. Every time they use magic there is a causality they have to bear to balance out the power spent. The more magic they use, the more pain they suffer, so in this case, Avis's hesitation costs Weekend quite a lot of pain. Over in the real world though, people have no idea what Star One are going through, because in reality fans are just excited about their upcoming tour. The Boys of Destiny have a double life basically. They're full-time idols to the public, but they're also training to save the world, which is a calling that Eugene especially feels a lot of responsibility for. As he and Soul duo, Eugene still struggles to control his immense power. In the story, he's a warrior of the Wendigo tribe. Even his true name is associated to incredible strength, so it's not surprising that he knocks out Saw. Over in the garden instead, Avis is playing with a bird that he just summoned when Tao joins him to talk about what happened the night before. Avis confesses that he's scared of summoning creatures because once he lost a bird friend to the darkness that swallowed him. The day before he froze in fear because of it, but Tao comforts him and makes him understand that he's not alone in feeling that way. Tao is also bothered by something else that happened the night before, but he actually stops talking because he notices a some member of the sect eavesdropping their conversation. In the meantime, Eugene is still training, and Sol admires his determination, but he also begs him to take a break. After that, they also have 2 rehearsals, but Eugene wants to continue anyway. Sol thinks it's great that now they have powers to use on stage, but when it comes to training, he's still a bit worried because he doesn't really know what they're fighting for. Eugene, however, does. They're fighting to save the world, and he will protect everyone no matter what it takes. In the afternoon, Tao goes to visit Viken, who is still recovering from his causality, but feels well enough to take some selfies. As he watches over him, Tao tells him not to post them on social media because that's against the rules, and Viken knows this, but still thinks that Tao is worrying too much. Truth of the matter though, Tao is worrying just enough. In this version of events, he seems to be the one who is the most in control of his magic. He's the one that uses it the most wisely and the one that doesn't overdo it. In the scene, Tao explains that possession magic is a double-edged sword, and this is very true actually. It's also the same in the other versions of the story. In the Star Seekers, the type of magic they practice is called possession magic because they basically allow themselves to be possessed by the power of their respective tribe. In every version of the story, the 5 boys each belong to a different ancestral tribe with different powers and abilities. So for instance is an archer from the Elf tribe, Eugene is a warrior from the Wendigo tribe, Viken is a healer from the Dryad tribe, Tao is a sorcerer from the Noctua tribe, while Avis is a summoner from the Ornith tribe. Every time they use magic, they basically allow the ancestral power of their tribe inside of them, and this is a very dangerous process. If you borrow more power than allowed, the causality can destroy both your mind and your body, so Tao is 100% right to nag them about it. During this conversation, Viken also wonders why the Dragon Slayer clan is trying to kill them, and once again Tao is on top of it. The members of the Dragon Slayer clan want to stop the resurrection of the Dragon of the End, which is a legendary entity that appears when the world falls into chaos. Its role is to pass judgment on the world, purify it from evil, and bring peace, and the Dragon Sect wants this to happen, which is also why they're going out of their way to train the 5 Star Seekers in preparation for this event. You see, the 5 Boys of Destiny are those chosen by fate to aid the return of the dragon. In every timeline they appear before the Dragon of the End returns, so the Dragon Slayers are trying to kill them because if they die, the dragon doesn't come back. You basically have 2 opposing factions. On one side you have the Dragon Sect, who are pro-dragon, are training the boys and want to save the world. But on the other you have the Dragon Slayer clan, who are against the dragon, want to kill the boys, and don't want to save the world, at least not this way. It's good versus evil, right? Wrong, because there's a catch, and a big one at that actually. So, as of right now the world is ending because magic brought chaos to the world. The black water is destroying people's empathy, everybody's fighting, the apocalypse is coming. If the Dragon of the End is resurrected though, it will not just save the world full stop. It will not simply remove evil from the planet. Its role is to judge the world, cleanse it, and restore order, but they don't know how this is supposed to happen. The boys are basically between a rock and a hard place here, and at this point they don't even have all the pieces to figure it out. They were always a bit suspicious about the sect and its secrets, but only now they're starting to figure out what they got involved in. Tao, for instance, says that no matter how he looks at it, he feels like a villain, but he doesn't even know the half of it, to be honest. He still doesn't know what the dragon is supposed to do, but he's still very suspicious about the sect. As Viken gets sedated to recover, Tao finally confronts them about the night before. The thing that has been bugging him was that when the Slayers attacked them, the sect didn't do anything to stop them. If they're so important to their plan, then why didn't they defend them? To which the clan replies that they are indeed very important. The sect serves the dragon, its resurrection depends on the Star Seekers, which is also why they're giving them power and resources, but if they aren't able to beat a few Slayers by themselves, then there is no chance to accomplish their mission when the time comes. The Boys of Destiny must get strong and stop relying on spell books like the one Tao uses. If you remember, that book was the one that Tao took from the fortune teller in Magic Island. We also saw it in Frost. That book is the key to solve the mystery here, but the last page is missing, and this last page is the most important of them all. Now, in the animation, this page is only mentioned and then never brought up again, but in the novel they actually explain where the page is and what it says. The page is actually in the belly of Marosi, a talking fella encrypted chained in room 17, a secret chamber that also appeared in multiple videos. The beast is a prisoner of the sect because his belly is able to swallow anything in the world, and the cult uses this ability to hide important artifacts, the missing page being one of them. In the novel, the boys eventually manage to retrieve it and free Marosi from his chains, and on this occasion they finally discover the truth of the dragon. The page reveals that on the Doom's Night, the dragon will destroy half of the world to strike balance in the fallen world, otherwise the world will continue to be corrupt and up in the hands of evil and face complete apocalypse, so now we start to get where the Slayers were coming from. The dragon is literally supposed to bring doom to the world. It's a purification by fire that on the long run would eventually restore balance to the world, but this is a lose-lose situation. On the one hand, the world is ending, but if they try to stop it by resurrecting the dragon, half of the world would die a horrible death anyway. Now, in the animation, we don't see them gaining this information the same way, but it's implied that Soul is revealed the truth that very night. While Eugene is having a nightmare about not being able to save his friends, Soul sneaks to the dungeons to go talk to the child soldier that he saw on the roof the night before. The boy was taken prisoner by the sect, so Soul takes advantage of that to ask some questions. Soul doesn't really understand the angle of the dragon slayers. If the world ends, they would die as well, right? So why would they want to stop a dragon that wants to purify the world from evil? To which the kid basically replies, "Good question, what do you think evil means?" He basically goes existential on his ass, and that's enough to make him understand the gravity of their situation. When Soul talks to Eugene about it, he initially thinks that the boy is lying, that it's a trap to confuse them, but Soul thinks that it would be a very dangerous lie to tell. The dragon slayers are ready to risk their life to kill them for the sake of the world. Their actions prove that they're serious about what they're saying, so Eugene comes up with a new plan. What if they disappeared? If the Starseekers were gone, wouldn't everyone be saved? Bear in mind, saving everyone is Eugene's first priority. He doesn't want to save some people, he wants to save all of them. He's an absolutist, so if the dragon would really end half of the world, there would not be a compromise he'd be willing to take. Their conversation gets interrupted by an injured Tao that tells them they must run away, so Avis grabs Viken and off they go into the woods. They're being chased by the dragon sect, so Eugene stays behind to defend the others. He uses possession magic to channel the power of the Wendigos and then throws a giant boulder to block the road. As they leave the dragon sect behind though, they suddenly get attacked from the front by the Dragon Slayer clan, also there to kill them. Soul wants to use his elf magic to throw a fire arrow, but Viken stops him because that would hurt the forest. Eugene then wants to intervene himself again, but Tao stops him before he makes his causality worse. As they decide what to do, the Dragon Slayers prepare to attack from the front, while the Dragon sect catches up to them from the back, so Tao summons light to confuse them, but also to give Avis the chance to redeem himself from the day before. This time Avis succeeds, he channels his tribe and summons a giant bird that brings them to safety. He was able to do it because Tao brightened the darkness, so he was no longer afraid of it. As they fly away, Eugene wonders what they're gonna do now, and these questions is kinda left unanswered. The film ends with Viken listening to the song of the forest, thanking them and wishing them a nice journey, but we don't know where they're going next. Maybe they'll just disappear, like Eugene foreshadowed earlier, or maybe they'll face the dragon on the Doom's Night like what happened in the other versions. We don't know if there's gonna be other animations moving forward, but if I discover it, I'll make sure to let you know. In the meantime though, let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you want to support me more, I have a new channel for you to check out and merch linked in the description down below. As always, thank you so much for watching guys, I'll see you next time, bye bye!